The Staggie Brothers were born in the Cape Town suburb of Mouy-Riviere in 1961. The Group Areas Act created forced removals of colored peoples from so-called white areas to a less desirable part of town. The Cape Flats became a place where more than 1 million displaced colored and black people were relocated. The Staggie family were moved to Manenberg, poverty-stricken and without access to proper infrastructure and services. Due to the pressures of this poverty and hard living, RASHIED and his brother RASHAAD resorted to petty crimes for survival. After 1994, they stayed in Boston Belleville in the Western Cape, South Africa. By the time the twins were teenagers, they were active drug dealers and were able to make some money. As they got older, they became more aggressive and influential in the Cape Town underworld. By the 90s, the twins were notorious gang leaders, and their gang, the Hard Livings, had members all around the Cape Peninsula. According to sources, the Hard Livings gang was formed in the 70s by Rashid Staggie and his twin brother RASHAAD. The gang started out as a criminal street gang mostly involved in drug distribution, for which they competed with the Americans gang. After their distribution network grew, the Hard Livings gang as well as their rivals evolved into a structured criminal organization involved in a wide range of criminal activities. In the 90s and early 2000s, the gang was known to have had a strong presence in the wealthy Greenpoint and Seapoint areas of Cape Town. The gang is known to have been involved in both international and local organized crime. Their local activities range from drug running and trading, poaching, protection rackets, prostitution, and provision of unlicensed drinking places. They have associations with Westbury Gang, the Veridos. Internationally, they have been known to have cooperated with the Sicilian Mafia in the trafficking of illegal diamonds, as well as trafficking cannabis to Europe. They were known as the Untouchables, and would reportedly toss R10 notes to school kids from the windows of their cars as they drove by. But this would soon come to an end. In 1996, the People Against Gangsterism and Drugs, as known as PAGAD, was founded by a handful of Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania, PAC, and community members from a Cape Town townships, who decided to organize public demonstrations to pressure the government to fight the illegal drug trade and gangsterism more effectively. However, PAGAD increasingly took matters into their own hands, believing the police were not taking enough action against gang. Initially, the community and police were hesitant to act against PAGAD activities, recognizing the need for community action against crime in the gang-ridden communities of the Cape Flats. Notorious gangsters were initially asked by PAGAD members to stop their criminal activities or be subject to popular justice. A common PAGAD modus operandi was to set fire to drug dealers' houses and kill gangsters. PAGAD's campaign came to prominence in 1996, when the leader of the Hard Livings gang, Rashad Staggie, was beaten and burnt to death by a mob during a march to his home in Salt River. During a confrontation, a petrol bomb was thrown at Rashad, and while burning, he was shot and killed. South Africa's police quickly came to regard PAGAD as part of the problem rather than a partner in the fight against crime, and they were eventually designated a terrorist organization by the South African government. In 2003, Rashid Staggie was sentenced to jail after he was convicted for ordering the gang rape of a 17-year-old girl who had turned state witness against him. The woman, a police informer, testified that Staggie took her to an isolated spot in August 2001 and forced her at gunpoint to have sex with 3 men. Staggie was sentenced to 15 years for kidnapping and rape. The following year, in 2004, he was convicted of burglary from the 4 police armory and sentenced to 13 years in prison. The 2 sentences were served concurrently. Before his release from jail, Staggie converted to Christianity and apologized for his past sins. In May 2013, the Western Cape Department of Correctional Services announced that Staggie would be released on parole for good behavior in late September 2013. In July 2013, the then 28-year-old woman and mother of 6 who was gang raped by earlier in this story was shot 3 times in an alleged revenge attack by the Hard Livings. In September 2013, after serving 10 years, Staggie was released by the Department of Correctional Services for good behavior. In December 2013, he joined a new-formed political party, Patriotic Alliance, led by former inmates Kenny Cunane and current Minister of Arts and Culture Gayton McKenzie. On the morning of Friday, the 13th of December 2019, RASHIED Staggie was sitting in a friend's Toyota Corolla sedan outside his home in the area of Salt River, Cape Town, when 2 assailants approached the vehicle and shot at him numerous times. He was confirmed dead on arrival at the nearby Groote Schuur Hospital. Staggie was 58 years old. According to an unnamed officer at the scene, the car was riddled with bullets, but the driver of the car escaped unharmed after fleeing for safety. Staggie's daughter, Ingrid Carolus, came out of their house 2 hours after the shooting screaming, "He's dead! He's dead!" The shooting occurred after another Hard Livings leader, Bally Tips, was shot and killed in Mitchell's Plain the previous night. Staggie was killed in the same street, London Road, where his twin brother and fellow gangster RASHAAD Staggie was shot and burned alive by People Against Gangsterism and Drugs, or PAGAD, members in 1996. No one has been arrested yet. Research into the Cape Flats gang landscape conducted interviews with community leaders, activists, gang members, and gang leaders with intimate knowledge of the case, unearthed 3 possible motives, sometimes overlapping, for Staggie's death. 1. These involve a relative of Staggie's upset at not being promoted within the ranks of the Hard Livings. 2. Staggie's deteriorating relationship with the 28 gang, and 3. His alleged defrauding of Nigerians seeking entry into the Cape Town drug market. Amidst the conflicting narratives around Staggie's death, what emerged clearly was that a variety of interests in the Cape Town underworld were pleased with the outcome. Not only those mentioned above, who might have been directly implicated in the killing, but gang and community leaders from all over the Cape Flats expressed their approval. It was said that people had become frustrated with what was termed his double life. While Staggie had supposedly left gang life behind and converted to Christianity, in fact, he was more active than ever in various criminal markets across Cape Town.
On the 17th of September, 2022, Abdullah Boonzaya, the son of Staggie, known to many as Dullah, was gambling in Manenberg, Cape Town on a Saturday night. The atmosphere was tense, but that's nothing new in a neighborhood controlled by the notorious Hard Livings gang. As the son of the infamous gang leader RASHIED Staggie, Dullah was no stranger to danger. On that fateful night, the air was thick with anticipation. The dice rolled, cards were dealt, and money exchanged hands. But amidst the seemingly ordinary evening, violence was brewing. When the shots rang out, the chaos that followed was inevitable. Dullah was shot multiple times in the face, leaving a community in shock and a family in mourning. The police arrived quickly, but it was too late. Dullah was pronounced dead at the scene. The shooter, a known hitman for the Hard Livings gang, according to sources. Thank you for watching. If you found this story impactful, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into true crime. Stay safe and take care. Pause.